And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
From the first word, replacing it with the word comes second. Instead of saying restarting the router, I'm saying I rerouted the starter.
It's okay, Mark. I understood you. I read the Da Vinci Code as well.
It's good, man. It's good. It's good. Keep your chin up, man. It was good. It was good. Good evening and welcome to Is It a Bicycle? Season 9, Episode 16, the original and bestest ever TV and movie podcast. My name is Stephen Wrigley and I'll be your host for this evening. Beside me I have a man who doesn't drink water unless it's been through a brewery first. It's Mike, the McDonough. Live from Vegas, we have a man who's just finished his research into his first TV show script. It's due early next year and will explain the backstory and all the for external use only warning labels. It's Sean Bennett. And in the red corner, it's our cuddly killer, a man whose to-do list for the week is just stuff he wants to eat. It's Mark, superhero Leonard. This week we'll be discussing some movies in the shape of Spectre and Mississippi Grind, and some TV in the form of Supergirl. Of course, we'll have the usuals with the news and some previews in Coming to a Bicycle near you. So how are we doing?
Fantastic, Steve.
Good. How are we doing on the line? Line 1 and 2?
Doing good,
classically handsome.
Good stuff. So what do we see this week? It wasn't on the list.
Do you know what I've been watching?
Oh, tell us. What have you been watching?
I've been watching The Grinder.
Oh, you went back to it?
Oh, you did, yeah?
The motherfucking Grinder. He is brilliant.
Oh, yeah?
Like, every episode is just better than the last. I love it so much, like. I don't think we were emphatic enough when we recommended it on the podcast. I think we should have gone to town more.
Right.
It is really good. Like, Rob Lowe is just so funny in it.
And are they kind of trying to bring it to a new level each episode kind of thing, or is it the same kind of thing each time?
It's a similar thing. But they do a lot of different stuff. Like the first episode, Kevin Arnold from the Wonder Years realized that he's actually the bad guy from Grinder. So then the Grinder couldn't get anything done. So he more or less said things that we'd heard. Is it Pincus they call him? I think it's Pincus is the bad guy in the Grinder TV show. He started saying things to Grinder like, "No, Grinder, you can't do it. That's impossible." So he just goes, "Nothing's impossible," which is the line from the show.
Yeah.
It's so funny, like,
Yeah.
and he's trying to get with this lawyer who has absolutely no interest and is completely unimpressed by him, and he cannot fathom it. It just makes no sense to him that she's not impressed, like. And at the end of that episode, she goes like, "Look, nothing is ever going to happen between us. There is absolutely no chance. It's impossible." And needless to say, he hasn't left her alone once since. But it's great. I recommend it.
You recommend it?
I recommend The Grinder. Thoroughly.
Cool. I'll have to go back to that, so. Mike, what you been looking at?
Season 2 of The Leftovers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of my favourite shows from last year.
Oh.
And I know there wasn't a lot of love for it on this particular podcast, but it was my little guilty pleasure for the year. But they started season 2, and I don't know how they managed it, but I'm even more confused now than I was watching last season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because nothing was ever really well explained in it. There was a lot of hints and letting you make stuff up for yourself.
Yeah.
And so instead of explaining stuff in episode or in season 2, they just decided to add even more stuff that is kind of unexplained. So it's
So
fun.
is this more stuff? Is this going a bit losty? As in, they'll have to explain lots of stuff.
I don't think they're ever going to bother their whole explaining.
Right, okay.
It's just going to be week after week. Oh, check this out.
Yeah. Okay.
It's going to fry your mind. But I'm loving it. I'm going to stay on right through.
Cool.
But it's a labour of love. I can't recommend it to non-believers.
Very good. Sean?
I I was hanging out, right, in my house going, I'd love to watch an old film, but like one that I don't know anything about. Just something like that's around, like something that I haven't heard anything about, completely jaded by the world, by like, those assholes who review stuff like online and stuff. So what I did was I went to a writer that I really, really like called Cameron Crowe, who you may remember, he did Jerry Maguire. He also did Almost Famous. And then the less successful and often hated Elizabethtown with Orlando Bloom. And his movies are always very like great dialogue, very personal, and usually they're about people who are somehow morally bankrupt, and either someone saving them or them trying to save themselves. And I love those kinds of stories,
Yeah.
So I threw on Aloha, which does not have good reviews, but I was like, we'll see what happens. It's got a great cast. Let me just run you down the list. Bradley Cooper plays an Air Force dude who basically was caught taking money, and then he got blown up, and now he works in the private sector, helping out private people who want to launch rockets into space or launch satellites, because the privatization of space is ongoing, Bill Murray plays his boss. Emma Stone plays one of his love interests. Rachel McAdams plays his ex, who is now happily married to John Krasinski. Danny McBride is hanging out. And then a couple of other people that you'd recognize.
Yeah.
A load of people in this.
That is a hell of a cast.
And it is, right? And so it all revolves around Bradley Cooper's character is supposed to go to this place in Hawaii and get the local Hawaiians to bless the launch of this thing and to agree to allow them to use their land. So it's very much about, land and the sky, and like Hawaiian beliefs come into it a lot, unfortunately. Whereas I felt that the other movies that he has done were more grounded. The more, I guess, the high-minded morality of this just kind of floats away. Like it never really becomes a realistic conversation or like realistic stuff you'd believe happening.
Right.
There's a lot of talk of Hawaiian spirits from a lot of very non-Hawaiian people.
Right.
And it's just, so I was like really on board for it. And I was like, oh, so many people are going to fall in love in this. It's going to be great. And I don't know, there were some great moments and some great lines, but it really, it's like, I would have pointed to Cameron Crowe and been like, he's my guy. I want to write like him. But now I see him and I read some interviews like about this afterwards. I think he got jaded with generic Hollywood movies and he tried to go outside the box and he just made a movie that's a little bit ridiculous. And I feel kind of bad because I think there's a lot of nuggets in there that are really like great conversations. Danny McBride is hanging out, having fun. Bill Murray is really funny at various points. Bradley Cooper's a great actor. But I just don't buy it. It was a lot of people talking a lot of shite and saying that they're really great.
Right.
And I felt bad.
Yeah. How would you mark
I'm
it?
hoping that the movies. Oh, how would I mark it?
Yeah,
Jeez. I guess maybe a 4.
Right. Yeah. It sounds like you really wanted to like this. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst film I've ever seen. It was just so many moments where I was just like, that's really dumb, or you've already used this trick in your dialogue.
Yeah.
You need to stop doing that.
Yeah.
And Sean always feels bad about getting like below 5.
He does.
He doesn't pull that out very often.
No. Like a
It
little
hurt.
bit
Like
below
that hurt
average.
just now.
Yeah. It's true. I saw something that I didn't think I'd like called Far From the Maddening Crowd. That famous novel by is it Thomas Hardy? Not Jane Austen. No. Thomas Hardy.
Tom Hardy is in it, is he?
He is, yeah, Sean. Yeah.
This is Kerry Mulligan, Juno Temple, Matthias. I always have a problem with his surname.
Brickenbrower.
Schoenarts, is it? Schoenarts, and Michael Sheen, amongst others. And it's set in Victorian England. And it's about a headstrong and independent and quite attractive young lady who inherits...
on a scale of 1 to 10, how attractive?
Google Kerry Mulligan. You can make up your own mind. It'll lead me into a trap. And so she inherits this massive farm right? A huge farm. And she's got 3 suitors, 3 very different suitors.
Is it dairy or tillage?
It's a bit of both, actually.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a bit of both.
mix,
It's
yeah,
massive.
yeah.
It's massive. Yeah. So she's got one is very, very nice guy. He's a shepherd. Doesn't care about money and all that. And he met her before she inherited the farm, so he's none of that kind of thing. Another is her neighbour, who also has a farm of the similar size and thinks that they would do well together, you know. And then there's another one who's a captain, and he's a bit of a lad, Jack the lad.
Bit of a cad.
Bit of a cad. Oh, that's exactly it. I actually said that. I said, this guy's a bit of a cad, isn't he? Totally. Yeah. The director of this that's kind of why I kept watching it, is Thomas Vinterberg, who we will remember from The Hunt. Do you remember with Mads Mikkelsen?
Yes.
Yeah, which was excellent. So so I continued watching this despite protests, and I enjoyed it. It was really good. A very mature movie. There was nothing that I felt they could have done better. Right. You know, that kind of way. It was really, really good. It's really, really good. It's riveting, actually, because Carey Mulligan's character, she's independent, headstrong, in the wrong era, and these guys are trying to marry her, and she's just like, look, I don't want to be someone's wife, you know, because I'm just going to be at home, you know, and so you're going to be running the farm. This is what I want, you know, that kind of way. Yeah. So it was interesting. Let's say the different dynamics and relationships that she had between the 3 guys as well, and other stuff happens as well, you know. But I'd highly recommend it. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And I'd probably give it a 9.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah. Because it was kind of one I was just like, I don't really want to watch that. Oh, that's kind of good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. So,
Steve, that's exactly what I was looking for when I watched Aloha.
well, it's a good thing you listen or partake in this podcast. Now you've got a recommendation for next week.
Yeah.
It's a good dating movie, actually, Sean.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It's not going to generate too many conversations.
No, because it's a different era.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anywho,
Okay, but I'm gonna blame you if it ends in a dry handy. Just so you know. Nothing worse. Let me do it myself.
no, I think you're safe enough on that one. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what's back?
What's back?
Arrow.
Again.
Is this
Arrow's
4th
back.
time around?
Third, is it?
I don't know.
Fourth, is it?
I think it might be the 4th season, yeah, because 1 and 2 were
Really?
pretty good, and then 3 kind of lost its way entirely.
Wow.
In season 4 now, they're dealing with a lot of the aftermath. There's a lot of aftermath. But they've taken a tack that so many other TV shows have annoyed people with, and they're choosing to annoy us with it in Arrow. So there was a scene at the end of the first episode where he is at the grave of somebody that he obviously cares about. And this is 6 months from now, round about the finale of the season, most likely.
Yeah.
So somebody will die in Arrow season 4.
Yeah.
He's referred to himself as the Green Arrow in this.
Okay.
So he's caught up with DC Comics now, or whatever they're called. Like,
Is that like First Dan? Does he like
well,
become
that's
the
who the
Red
character
Arrow?
is in DC Comics.
Oh, okay,
He's the Green Arrow. He was just called Arrow in this because I think they were harking back to the whole Smallville thing of him never actually being called Superman. But luckily they got out of that, because what does that really get anybody in the end anyway? So it's more of the same. I don't know if it's going to be good enough. The chemistry between the Arrow and Diggle is really annoying me. Like, there's an awful lot of, I'm just not there yet, man. You hurt me real bad, and they don't mean sexually, like they mean like you hurt his feelings. You hurt me real bad. I'm just not ready to take you back. They don't mean sexually either. They're talking about feelings, like. And it's just all a bit weird. I don't like the way that's written at all, to be honest. And I think it doesn't benefit anything. Then there's the whole side plot of him and Felicity Smoke getting down and domestic with it, sexually. So they're like, they're living together, and they were trying to do the whole family thing, but obviously he's like the Godfather Part 3, and he gets pulled back in, and Then she kind of let slip. To be honest, since you stopped saving the city, I completely lost my boner for you. But now that you're like back in the green leather, serious hard on over here. And he goes, well, I don't want you to lose your hard on. Why don't I save the city for another season and see if we get cancelled? So that's what's happening. So I've just set the scene now for season 4. That's where we're at.
Right. John, you still watching? Oh, sorry. Are you going to say something?
Were you about to ask me about The Flash?
No, about Limitless. If you're still watching.
Oh. Can I talk about The Flash instead?
Yeah, go talk about The Flash instead. Just say yes or no. Are you watching or not?
I am watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still watching.
So am I. It's brilliant. Yeah.
Big fan. I feel about it the way Mark feels about Grindr. But yeah, the reason that I wanted to bring it up, because season 3, and I also think season 4 of Arrow. Yeah, and I think Arrow has changed a lot because it wants to be more like The Flash, like a kind of, because it's less dark now. Arrow, literally first season and second season, well, first season at least, was all about like, I'm going to go kill these people that are on this list. Like, that's not really a superhero. But once the Flash showed up, and then you've got superpowers, you've got, like Lazarus pits and stuff. It's very easy when you have all those options and all those fantastical things, just kind of let that get away from you and not have much character stuff. Whereas with the Flash, it's built for that. It's completely built for all these big moments. So I've loved the first 3 or 4 episodes of The Flash so far. And I'm loving all the teases for like, oh, wait a minute, is that person coming back? And or, oh no, what's going to happen? Who's going to have explosions from their face this week? So I'm really enjoying it.
Very good.
I do love face explosions, or what Mike calls Saturday night.
Okay, with that, we'll go to the news. Chewbacca arrested in Ukraine, allegedly. The Internet Party of Ukraine have been using Star Wars characters as promotional props for the last while. During the week, Darth Vader was driven to the polling station by a stormtrooper and Chewbacca. Chewbacca was asked for his license, and on showing empty hands was arrested, allegedly. Well, he was probably just detained, but yeah, it happened. November 21st, Sean, Saturday Night Live, Matthew McConaughey will host it with Adele.
Wow.
As musical guest. Yeah, that's a night you'll have to book in. Dusk Till Dawn renewed for season 3. Did you know that? Did you even know there was a season 2?
I kind of knew that. I hope that they eventually get to the bar. So let me know when that happens.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah. Sherlock and Watson are headed for the big screen. This is the BBC Sherlock. The upcoming special, Sherlock, The Abominable Bride, is headed to theatres across North America. BBC Worldwide announced on Monday. The special will screen in theatres on January 5th and 6th and will include 20 minutes of exclusive footage that won't be shown on TV. I don't know if that's happening this side of the Atlantic, but that's the news there. So that sounds like pretty cool. 20 minutes more. Oh, God. I think it includes a tour of 22B Baker Street. Yeah. By Benedict and Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
So that would be pretty cool. Bill Burr has a new TV show coming up. Did you hear about this?
No.
Yeah. So Bill Burr, stand-up comedian, who is brilliant, and he actually has a Monday morning podcast. If you haven't heard it, I recommend it. It's not very long, and he just rants about something that happened over the last week, and it's pretty cool. So he's going to play a volatile TV personality, which pretty suits him.
Yeah.
Who is drummed out of showbiz and struggles to make it in the real world. Yeah. So I think it's definitely got potential.
Okay.
And will definitely be watching it. I'll come back with a review. How about that?
Right.
And that's it for the news. Unless someone else has something else they'd like to bring up.
I'd like to bring up Ungrateful Children.
Your own, or is it the name of a documentary?
My own. You know, like, I've always thought that one of my great regrets in life was not having the finances to send him to, boarding school in Mongolia or something. But the other day we were watching TV and something came up, and there was a reference for something, and it's just part of my instinct as a parent to try and help him along, give him a little bit of education here and there. I said, do you know what? I said to him, do you know where that comes from? And he says, Oh, I do actually. Yeah, it was back in the 7th century. The last time I gave a fuck.
Yeah, that sounds like your offspring.
Yeah. I was like, fuck you, I'm done here. You're dead to me.
Again. Funny. Okay. So, first of our movies, Mississippi Grind. Sean, do you want to give us a summary?
Mm-hmm. Sure
Rundown.
thing. Down on his luck, debtful gambler named Jerry, played by Ben Mendelsohn, on a regular night is out playing poker, and he runs across this very suave gambler who seems to be a winner and seems to be Jerry's lucky charm, played by Ryan Reynolds. This character's name is Curtis Vaughn. And the two form a quick friendship of mutual, like liking each other and a mutual love of gambling. And the two embark basically on a road trip to a big poker game where they're going to try and make a whole bunch of money, pay off whatever debts they may need to pay off, and hopefully, fix everybody's life. Along the way, they discuss numerous things about life and about how to have the best kind of one.
Yes. Yeah, that's pretty good, yeah. Yeah. I went into this with a bit of trepidation, I have to admit. Now, I really like Ben Mendelsohn, like his work, and I like Ryan Reynolds as well.
You also like gambling.
I also like gambling on occasion, yeah. And also like Annalie Tipton. She's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Sienna Miller is also in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good cast. This grew on me slowly. The first scene where they meet was kind of, was kind of okay, and it was the next scene, or the next scene in which they meet, kind of set the scene for me, and it's sort of, it's going to be one of these kind of movies. Oh, great. So, so I was in.
Mm-hmm.
But as it went on, now I'm talking like an hour into it.
Mm-hmm.
I was sort of starting to think, okay, this is getting a little bit long,
Okay.
I'm not seeing an end to this, and I know there's quite a bit left, and they're doing quite a lot of backstory and sort of current story and character development.
All right. And how were they doing the backstory? Were they just saying, when I was back in Chicago, I...
No, I mean, like Jerry, Ben Mendelsohn's character has an ex-wife and a kid and so on, so there's all that kind of stuff he has to deal with, and he also owes a lot of money to a lot of people. He's asked by Ryan Reynolds at one stage, so who do you owe money to? And he looks around the bar and he goes, everyone. A lot of money. So, I think that was his main goal, was sort of so that, to get some money to pay off his debts, and sort of, as every, real gambler's dream is to just to get that one big score.
Yeah.
Then that everything will be okay. And of course, that's the whole problem, So
And is there danger in this? Like, are the people actually after him?
Mm-hmm.
they'd be visiting.
Yeah. Okay.
Just going, you got to keep up with payments, man, or I'm going to have to send Tim around.
Okay.
That kind of way.
Yeah.
So then he gets a call going, there's a guy called Tim here looking for you. And he's like, all right. Yeah. So, anyway, they embark on a road trip to try and make their dream come true.
Okay.
Ryan Reynolds is really good in this. He's very charismatic, let's say. He's a real Rico Suave, and he carries it well. He's from seeing him in previous movies, you could, if you're asked Ryan or Ben for this role, Jesus, Ryan, that kind of way, But the same applies for Ben Mendelsohn, because he is the role as well. Do you remember he was in Startup and he was he was the dad, that kind of way. There's no one else you could imagine playing that character. That's kind of the way he was in this as well. He wasn't a complete down and out, but he was getting there, and he's getting there fast. He's had a lot of problems, and his biggest problem is himself.
Okay.
Yeah. So, so these two guys, they bond, but they have, not all's not rosy, let's say, in this relationship. They have issues at times, but the interaction between the two of them is really good. And at times, the time does fly by, but then, like I say, about an hour into it, I started going, okay, gotta start wrapping it up, dudes, but yeah, if that would be my main criticism with this movie. It's a little bit too long.
Right.
Yeah.
And in terms of the Bond, is the Bond just all about the luck, or is it that they can see something in the other guy that would kind of help change the character? Or how does that work?
Sean, do you want to feel that one? I've talked.
I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love to feel that one.
Nice.
So the movie opens with a rainbow, a really beautiful rainbow. Like literally, that's the first thing we see. And then it cuts, and that's like an ongoing theme throughout. You know what I mean? Ben Mendelsohn's like at the table and asks if anybody saw like the rainbow earlier. Nobody responds. And then once Ryan Reynolds shows up, he asks the same question, and it's like, here it is. Like this is a gambler or gamblers putting faith in like some strange coincidence or yada yada yada. Because what is gambling really, right? It's a belief that you're going to be able to beat the odds. Like it's illogical, it's irrational, which can also be said of magical things, right? So it's partially that, but it's also a case that I think they see Ryan Reynolds' character, right? We get hints that he does this sometimes. Like he has a line, I love people. And he's always talking to people. He's never really like alone at any point. Now, obviously that's easy when you're like very attractive and suave, but he's always talking to people. Like he wants to know what's like going on. Who are they? And I think that he's a little bit of a rescuer because, like he's clearly got more money than Ben Mendelsohn's character. And like, you know what I mean? But what I think really it comes to is they see stuff in each other they either want or want to help with.
Okay.
But the real tension that kept me from getting bored or me from thinking it was too long is that what they say to each other, there's a tension between that and what the reality is.
Okay.
So I found that very interesting because I was surprised a couple of times towards how far they would go in like manipulating certain people or even just in things that they make up. Like it was very interesting to me. Great conversations about stuff like that.
Yeah. In regards to your comment about not getting bored, well, nothing is too long. My the specific part of it is the start of the road trip where they're making stop-offs that I don't think they needed in the movie. You know what I mean?
Like, I'm trying to figure out which ones you mean.
Yeah, it was more to do with Jerry than anyone else.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just like, kind of didn't need that, It was an extra road trip within a road trip kind of thing. So, anyway, because I just wanted them to get to the destination as well. So, yeah.
Oh, but the journey's the destination.
That line is huge.
That's a line.
Yeah.
Just nailed it.
Nailed it. So,
What did you think, Steve, about... So, okay, the ending for a gambling movie is always kind of a tough one, right?
Yeah.
Because for most gambling movies that I've seen, it's either they win big or they lose it all.
Yeah.
Like that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
And I thought that what they did in this one was it wasn't necessarily like, oh, I never would have believed that.
Yeah.
But it was handled so deftly.
It was.
Because the whole thing is like, you need to be able to walk away from the table. Like we see that in the trailer, right? We see like, look, you need to be able to walk away when you're winning. That's like, are you a loser or are you a gambler?
Yeah.
Like, and I loved that there was like an inversion as well of the idea of like who each of these people are towards the end.
Yeah.
Like there's an inversion of what they see themselves as and what they value and what they want.
You're right.
It got dark for me. It got dark.
But it really, really came together. I mean, it all made sense. It wasn't just out of the blue. This thing, it was building. Because here's the thing: we get it throughout, right? We get little hints at stuff like, it's better to not have to go alone. Is one of the big things of this movie, and it's interesting to see how each of them messes up their like relationships with people or doesn't try to have relationships with people. In the case of Ben Mendelsohn, or even just like, I just really, really liked it. And I thought the ending gave us some specific, without being on the nose, ideas about where each of these guys was headed. Yeah. Yeah, I thought the ending was excellent, actually. Yeah. Yeah. and it was very satisfying.
Oh my, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember actually thinking that, yeah, that's a damn good ending. Yeah. Yeah. Because like you say, you know, well, actually, I don't want to say any more, actually, on that. But yeah, yeah, have you more to say on this, Sean?
Well, I was going to just ask you if you had anything to say about the music.
Trying to remember.
Very
now.
Mississippi, like they had some original music in it as well. There was a lot of
yeah.
like jazz.
Yes, they did indeed. Yeah. Now you remind me. Yeah. Yeah, it was good, and it's a soundtrack that I definitely listen to. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it's kind of something that'd stick in the car, you know. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Oh, that's what I forgot to say. Yes. Sorry. You talked about turning on music in the car. There's this tape.
Yeah.
That Ben Middleton's character Jerry listens to. 200 tells in poker. And there's an amazing thing, right? And I picked this up early, but they kind of like give you a hint about it at the very, very ending of the movie. Ben Mendelsohn, and maybe Ryan Reynolds as well, I wasn't watching him as closely, but Ben Mendelsohn has a couple of moments where his acting includes some of those tells.
Yeah.
To let the audience know that what he's putting out there is actually not what he's feeling.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That
wasn't
was
it?
so, like, there's the bit where he touches his nose, and I just went,
Yeah.
oh shit, he's lying.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, that's amazing. So I just wanted to compliment that. That was so cool.
Wasn't it?
Oh.
Yeah.
It's just another layer. Like, it was so good.
Yeah, that was really good, actually. Yeah. The furrowed brow. Yeah.
But yeah, that was the last thing I had.
Yeah. Cool. Do you want to mark it so?
I love movies like this, and I loved it from the second they ordered scotch at the start of it all the way to the end. This is easy for me. I'm giving it an 8.
Very good. I'm going to go with a 7. I'm sticking with my main complaint. Yeah, it's a 7 for me. Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. It's above average, and 2 great performances. So, yeah.
Agreed.
Next up, we'll have the first of our TV, which is Supergirl. Mark, only you could give a synopsis on this.
I think Sean is also eminently qualified. I'm not sure why you were laughing when you said Supergirl. Like, do you not realise that 4 out of every 5 TV shows on TV at the moment have a superhero of some kind or another in them?
That's hence the mirth. Yeah.
Some of them are superhero detectives. Some of them are superheroes, and some of them are just super regular people.
Yeah, but I knew I couldn't ask Mike.
Bona fide alien from Krypton, who was sent along with Kal-El to look after him because he was only a wee babby. But she got lost on the way. She ducked when she should have dived, and she winds up landing on Earth long after Superman has revealed himself. So that's kind of it. It's a bit procedurally. They set up the loop pretty early in this. You're probably going to get an escapee from the negative zone that she helped escape inadvertently when she left the place. And you get an escapee each week. And the main difference between this and some of the other superhero TV shows that we're aware of are primarily she will be concerned with fashion. And instead of having boy problems, she will have girl problems.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like The Flash, only she's Supergirl and has girl problems.
Shout out to Ally McBeal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hadn't seen her in years.
Yeah.
I liked her character,
damn.
actually. Yeah. Did you see this, Mike?
Yeah, Steve, I saw this.
Tell us, Mike.
Do you know the way these fuckers keep on making us watch superhero stuff?
Right, well, there's a lot of them. Yeah. Go on. Yeah.
And like over the years, I've been actually battered senseless by the relentless wave of awfulness that they've thrown my way and made me watch.
Okay.
But this has set a new bar, a new low.
Oh.
It is, I can say hand on my heart, this is the worst superhero thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, really?
Mike McDonough in shock negativity scandal.
I mean, it I don't know where to start. She is terrible in the role. There wasn't a single moment, a single scene where I actually believed she was the character she was playing. Everybody in it was about as lightweight as you could get. They were just, let's stick her in to be the mean boss, and you go and be mean boss for a while. And, but that's going to give me a moral dilemma. Maybe I should do something about that. And then we have some baddies, and I was like, okay, so we can't get Lex Luthor in this, so let's get Worf from Star Trek and his cousins. The special effects were like some kind of, there was probably a guy who didn't get a job on Star Trek: The Next Generation, and he's been holding out for his big shot this last 20 odd years, and he got the nod for this, I think. As Mark said, it's got procedural all over it, but you don't have any characters that are likable. You know that the story just is going to be awful.
But you like Arrow, right?
Yeah.
So the same director, for some of the episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But you wouldn't put this in the same box as Arrow?
No,
or The Flash?
no,
or any of those? No?
No. Well, I didn't like The Flash.
Okay. Yeah. But Arrow... it kind of reminds me of the
Arrow's
R.E.M.
a real
song,
person.
Shiny, happy people. This does,
Yeah, it's very shiny.
It's very
and
shiny,
very
happy. It is, yeah. Even faced with, such, what do you call it? Nemesis as Worf and his cousins.
Yeah.
I wouldn't come down as hard as you would,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I won't be watching more of this. I just didn't think it was that great. It's a bit too shiny, happy people.
Mm-hmm.
Dialogue's not great. Story is a bit, okay, didn't see that coming.
Mm-hmm.
The effects aren't they aren't what we expect these days.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it's a pilot. I don't know what kind of budget they had for it.
Yeah.
Depending on popularity, maybe they'll get a larger budget or something like that. But
did you not think
that wasn't my main complaint? So
did you not think it was important though that they have strong women in leading roles?
This doesn't merit that kind of depth, really. No, you know what? I felt I was sitting through this rather than watching this. That kind of way.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just the wrong generation for this. I think. I don't know.
Well, it's a long time since you were 12, isn't it?
Well, I still have to hear from Mark.
He's seething quietly in the corner. He's got his notebook out, furiously jotting out counterpoints.
Michael, a fan of superheroes, does not seethe. He simply waits for truth and justice to out over evil and evildoers like yourselves. It's combining a couple of my true loves. Like, it's combining superheroes with Gossip Girl or The Devil Wears Prada.
Oh yeah,
because what's your one's name from Brothers and Sisters? She was Kitty in Brothers and Sisters. She's a very famous actress. I can never think of her name though.
Calista Flockhart, is it?
Is that the boss?
I think so.
Supergirl's boss in her day job. Yeah.
Ally McBeal.
Like,
Yeah.
is it Ally McBeal?
Yeah.
Oh, that was her character.
That's the other part that she played.
Yeah. She's married to David Duchovny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Duchovny's wife, Mrs. Duchovny. That's who she is.
Yes, exactly.
So, Calista Flockhart,
Yes.
or Kitty from Brothers and Sisters, as I know her, is really good. She's really, really good in this role.
She is.
And it's so Devil Wears Prada. I love it. Like, I absolutely love it. And I quite enjoyed all that part of it, like, because it's funny enough to see someone in like an assistant role demeaned, right? Not in real life, on TV, right? It's funny. But then when that person is a superhero, it's even funnier for some reason. And I didn't think she was as, I don't know how to make an adverb out of this, disbelievable as you think
Right.
she was, Mike. But I quite enjoyed her performance, to be honest. I thought Supergirl wasn't that bad at all. I thought she had the terrestrial stuff pretty nailed. There are issues with the whole superhero fighting thing.
Yeah.
But on the whole, I did enjoy it. They weren't the worst superhero battles I've seen by a long way.
I mean, be honest, do you think she could beat Jason Bourne in a fight?
As Supergirl, for sure, yeah, she's invulnerable. No, if Jason Bourne was wearing his kryptonite knuckle dusters, then but up and until that happened, I think he'd probably struggle. No, I didn't think it was all that bad. I think if you don't mind a bit of the Gossip Girl type thing mixed in with the superhero genre, I think it's at least a half decent show.
Sean.
I definitely agree with Mark that Melissa Benoist was doing a very good job as Kara / Supergirl. She's really holding the show together. Like, she's got moxie, she's got spunk, she's incredibly, they want a happy clappy show. She is doing an amazing job as the lead of a happy clappy show. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think she's doing a great job. I completely believe she is like a faux clumsy, really wants to do good, doesn't understand why she shouldn't girl. And, she is also naive enough that as an audience proxy, she's going to be able to walk into a room and go, wait a minute, what's that? And when someone explains it to her, it will be believable. So that's helpful too. Here's some problems. The most important character in the show is Supergirl. The second most important character in the show is Superman, and he will never be in the show. The shadow of having her, someone in her family who is very important, being around in the world but never actually talking to her, it doesn't make sense to me. And I understand that they wanted to make this show, but we're like, we can't do it because we can't have Superman because we don't want to confuse people because the movie, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? The only person who's been in the situation she's in and who she should be talking to about everything, we're not allowed to have him on screen.
No.
So for me, that's an inherently bankrupt relationship. I don't think they're going to have a Superman. I don't think they're going to have one. I don't think they have the rights because of all the Man of Steel stuff that's going on. They don't want to pollute the brand or whatever. I could be wrong, but he should already have been in the pilot. It makes no sense to me. What else? I don't like how it's written at all. I really don't like it. Even things that I think are them trying to be positive about strong women, for example, end up sounding really basic and dumb. They have a conversation about Supergirl versus Superwoman, and I'm just kind of why don't you guys sound like real people, and why do I hate both of you? How is that? How are you believably hateable but not believable? I don't understand. So that was just kind of I wasn't getting any of that. I don't like the supporting cast. Jimmy Olsen needed, I think, a little more screen time for me to like him, and I think that actor is good, even though it's a very different kind of Jimmy Olsen. I'll be interested. I would be interested to see what's going on with him.
Is he the romantic? Is he? Which guy is Olsen?
Yeah.
Is it the black guy?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, he's the romantic male lead, which is the opposite of every Jimmy Olsen incarnation.
I know. It's very, very different. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I actually got to see the audition pages for some of the scenes. The way that they describe Jimmy and Kara's first meeting is literally, it's awkward, but they like each other. Kind of like Lois and Clark.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? These should be different characters instead of just mapping them onto other people, So that to me just is lazy writing and lazy character work. And then the guy who is clearly meant to be the lovable sidekick who will be the dude in distress at various points. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. To me, it just rings a little bit, I can see the strings a little bit more than, with Arrow and The Flash, I don't care about the strings, even if I'm aware that, it's procedural, they have to do this and this. I don't care, because the characters are either having fun or there's legitimately cool stuff going on. With this, I remember when I watched it at Comic-Con, when I saw the screening, I was like, I don't want to like this. And so far I'm doing pretty well at not liking it.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be around for a while. I really do think this is going to be around for a while. And they're making a Krypton show as well soon. That's going to be set however 20 years before Krypton explodes and stuff. I don't know. I think this was a misstep, given what I've said about the whole Superman thing. But I don't know. I just can't hop on board. I'll give it a couple more maybe to see if they have some more interesting like episodes of the week. But for now, I'd rather go back and watch Smallville or the New Adventures of Lois and Clark.
I think I would too.
I'll tell you what, during the summer I rewatched the original Wonder Woman series.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And that was streets ahead of this in terms of portraying a female superhero. It was just, you could believe her as a character, even though it's patently ridiculous, her backstory or whatever.
Right.
But as you got into the show, like, she led the show. Whereas in this, I don't think Supergirl is particularly leading anything. She's spinning around the whole pilot going, what am I going to do with my life? That's not super.
Yeah.
I don't know, Steve, what do you think?
I thought it was interesting that she did her whole reveal thing very quickly, because normally they pad that out.
Yeah. Yeah, that
quite
should be
a long way into the
season
series.
Finale, really,
yeah,
or
something like that. Or, will she or won't she?
Yeah.
Whereas it was straight away, she was just like, oh yeah, hell yeah, going for coffee, yeah. Oh, by the way, and the Supergirl bird? Yeah, that's me. Yeah. So watch this. Hold my beer.
Yeah.
Although she was more of a Latte Pumpkin Spice banoffee kind of person. Yeah, she really was, the job and stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'd watch a show with Callista Flockhart doing that character. I think it would be hilarious. Yeah, I think that would be a better show altogether.
Yeah.
Well, in comparison, in contrast, like it.
No, I just mean you guys really like her, and I think that you're wearing like glasses covered, like rose-colored glasses, because you've seen her in things before. I was just kind of like, she's fine. She's doing a job where I can hear the words that her character's supposed to say.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so Mark, thriller filler. Will you watch more of this?
Absolutely, I will, Steve. Yeah, no, it's thriller for me. I don't think it's a lot. It's a damn sight better than an awful lot of TV shows we've watched this season. It has a lot of things that interest me in it, and I really enjoyed the first episode. So, yep, I'm going to watch it.
Okay,
thriller.
Cool. Sean, I know you're a bit on the fence.
It gets one more shot. But just one.
Just one.
So I'm gonna give it a thriller, because I will watch one more at some point in the next month.
Right.
I won't be waiting for this to come out, but I will watch another one.
That's a pretty darn shaky thriller, I think.
And from
Fillertastic.
Yeah, Fillertastic. Yeah, it's filler for me as well. Yeah. Okay. So next up is the second of our movies, which is Spectre. Sean, you had something to say about Spectre, didn't you?
I did indeed.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have been watching the news or any of Daniel Craig's interviews about Bond in the past while, but he said some pretty interesting stuff. We may have mentioned before that he said he'd rather die than play James Bond again.
No way.
Yeah, he said he'd rather die. He is done, like he is not interested.
So there's another day for that.
Yeah, just living
So there was an interview that somebody had with him there during the week, and the guy was clearly a Bond like fanboy and kind of wanted Daniel Craig to be as well. So like all of his questions were almost preloaded for Daniel Craig to like compliment James Bond the character,
right?
And he wasn't having any of it. Like so at one point, the guy was like, "So do you think like James Bond is a good role model?" And Craig like pauses for a second, and he goes, "No." And he's like, "Go on." And he's like, "Well, he's a misogynist. He uses women. So." And the guy's just there clearly having his heart broken, like all his like childhood dreams. And he's like, and he doesn't change tactics. Like he absolutely at no point like changes the way he's asking questions or what questions he asks.
Yeah.
So he says, the interviewer then says to him, "Well, in this movie we see Bond is like falling to the charms of an older woman," and he's going to keep going on. And Daniel Craig interrupts him, and he just goes, "No. No. He's falling for a woman who's his own age for once. He was just having none of it, and I
Nice.
just thought that was class.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool.
I don't know. I think Daniel Craig's problem with James Bond is that he's got too much money.
Daniel Craig. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you think if he was down on the queue there on
Yeah.
a Thursday that he'd be more...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll play James Bond.
Damn
Yeah,
fucking straight I'll play James Bond.
yeah. He's just spoiled.
Where do I
Spoiled.
sign?
Yeah. Do you want to give us a synopsis then, Mike?
Okay, this is basically following on very shortly from Skyfall.
Uh-huh.
And James is gone a little bit off the farm. He's decided to do something that hasn't been sanctioned. Gets him in a little bit of trouble. But as a result of which he discovers that the perfidious organization known as Spectre exists. Now this is going right back to the early Bond movies.
Right.
Spectre was a recurring theme.
A force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, so this is almost a reboot of those things.
Okay.
So James, with little support that he would probably expect in his line of work, it all gets taken from under him because there are reorganizations going on in British intelligence.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's made quite clear that there probably isn't a place for James Bond of his kind.
Redundancies.
Redundancies. Could you imagine James Bond fucking laid off? Man, oh man.
Yeah.
So, anyway, he's got to firstly find out who the bad guys are and then take them out.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
a twist in the plot for
Yeah.
James Bond, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So does he travel to many places that are exotic?
He gets around a bit.
Yeah.
There's Morocco, there's Italy, there's the UK.
Does it tell you what the name of the city is and then the country?
Well,
With a little digital noise as the name comes up on the screen.
they'll throw the city name up,
Yeah.
but before that, for the geographically challenged, they'll mention the name of the country.
Ah, okay.
We're going to Morocco, and it says Tangier.
Okay. So they don't quite do the Cairo.
No,
That's in Egypt.
no, it's far advanced to that.
Oh, okay. Nice tactic. All right.
Yeah. So that's it, yeah. James Bond.
So was it full of all the, like, did they have the checklist checked? There was the Bond girls. I know there's the Bond girls.
yeah, they ticked a lot of boxes.
They had the gadgets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've noticed in the Sam Mendes movies, they're kind of anti-gadget.
Oh, okay.
You know, there was a specific scene, I think it was the last movie,
Yeah.
where James is coming to collect his equipment, and it's basically a pistol and a radio.
Oh, okay. Did he? Oh, you had the car.
Yes.
Yeah, I know about the
Yeah,
car. Yeah.
yeah.
Did he have?
Did he have a woman in every port?
He was slightly limited in this instance. You know, I think he's toning it down as he gets older. You know, it's.
So did he have a fight where he got beaten up, and then later have a fight where he battered lots of people?
Well, let me tell you about fighting. This movie has Batista
Oh, right. Okay.
of wrestling fame.
Yeah.
Who-
Dave.
Who is a very, very, very large man
Yeah. Quite accomplished in the arts.
of hurting people.
Yes.
Yeah. And he, like, when you don't really appreciate Batista's size until you see him next to an ordinary human being, such as Daniel Craig.
Right.
He's absolutely fucking towering over
Really?
him.
Yeah.
And Batista actually, for me, was the highlight of this movie. I think he's one of the best Bond baddies.
Oh, okay.
Since-
Oh, so he was
Seriously?
he was Jaws then, was he?
Yeah, he's like Jaws, or remember Odd Job?
Yeah.
You know, not like major kind of leaders of badness,
Yeah, yeah.
but individual baddies.
Yeah.
I thought he was just fantastic in the
Oh,
role.
cool. Okay.
That's crazy.
So he was a henchman then.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
He's
cool.
like a badass henchman.
Yeah, the lead henchman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do we see him as well? Guardians of the Galaxy. He was a
Guardians
blue
of
dude,
the
wasn't he?
Galaxy, Yeah.
He's getting a fair bit of work these days, fair play to him. Mike,
certainly
how gritty is this one?
This one is probably not as gritty as Skyfall.
Oh, okay.
I thought Skyfall took a very dark turn in the story, James.
All of the Craig ones have been dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one is more a contemplation rather than a darkness.
Okay.
You know, he's forced to confront his own nature, I suppose, as the story goes on.
Okay.
And I suppose that's interesting too, because in so many Bond movies, Bond does what he does, goes out there, gets the bad guys, and if there's a few beautiful girls on the way, so much the better. But in this one, he's every now and then he has to stop and think about who he is, why he does what he does, which is probably an unusual step for a Bond movie to take. But I did appreciate that they did try and, you know, bring something else to the table.
Hell of a cast in this one.
There certainly is.
Monica Bellucci, Daniel Craig, as we said, Lea Seydoux, Christopher Waltz, Ray Fiennes, Dave Bautista, Jeepers, Naomi Harris. Yeah, it goes on and on. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not much of a spoiler to say that Spectre is headed by somebody that is very well known for previous Bond movies.
Oh, okay.
Can I say this?
I guess so.
Take 5. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
No, just don't spoil it.
Okay, I won't say anything.
You're
Don't
vetoed.
spoil it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's not out for a week. I'm not
I'm
going to
only
say
thinking
anything.
about our listeners here, Mike. Like, if they're listening to it on a high-speed motorbike on their iPhone, plugged into earphones into their helmet, and you go, you know,
That
just
happens.
pause for 5 minutes, they're going to take a hand instinctively off the joystick that they drive the motorbike with, and terrible things could ensue.
Yes. Okay, fair point.
So why not just don't spoil it?
Okay.
Why be that guy that kills motorcyclists?
I'm stepping back. I'm stepping back from the ledge, Mark. I'm stepping back from the ledge. Slightly less spoilery. There are some scenes in this movie that I actually went to this with the young lad, and I just at certain sections I turned around to it and I said, "That is so going to be in the video game."
Oh, really? Just a scene that has to be there, yeah.
Yeah, just outrageous,
Yeah.
outrageous stuff going on.
Yeah.
But you expect that from Bond, you know. You'd be disappointed if you didn't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't do loop-the-loops in helicopters?
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Always like Bond movies.
Yeah.
Just for the ridiculousness.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at you liking a caper, though.
It's not a fucking game. Just back the fuck off.
Diddle-diddle-doo, diddle-diddle-doo, diddle-diddle-doo.
It's so much more than a caper. It's a way of life.
So Sean has left us because he's got class and he's afraid of spoilers. But as
I told him he didn't need to be.
that's true,
Yeah.
exactly. We knew we'd mark on point today.
That's right,
So,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
There's no fear there. So, anything else you wanted to add to this? Is there a Tina Turner soundtrack?
Oh my god. I've really...
Who does it?
It's Sam Smith.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And it was the first thing that hit me. When the theme track came on, I said, this is like some fucking X Factor bullshit. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Just make it stop.
I'm quite surprised you know who Sam Smith is, actually. Yeah.
I didn't. I looked it up after.
Oh,
the
did
movie.
you? Okay, yeah.
He's a fucking dead man.
Yeah. Okay.
There were what's the word? Nice little throwbacks to earlier Bond movies in terms of the soundtrack. You know, just like background themes or whatever. Exactly. Yeah, it's just get split up.
You
You
have
know?
to. Massive brass section. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Now we're starting. Yeah.
I did have some problems with the pacing of the movie.
Oh.
I got to, let's say, an hour into it,
Yeah.
and it just hit me. I said, I'm not liking this as much as Skyfall.
Okay.
There's stuff happening that probably doesn't need to happen, or if it does, make it happen faster.
Okay.
I mean, the plot is very A to B to C, you know.
Yeah.
I found this guy, now, he's told me where to find that guy, and so on.
Yeah.
Which I'm not complaining about. I mean, that's how Bond movies work.
Yeah.
But if you're doing that, it's got to be snappy, you know, boom, 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 get through it.
Yeah.
And then the audience doesn't realize that they've been fucked over in
Right,
terms
okay,
of the script or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think part of that was trying to make the locations look pretty.
Okay.
I mean, there's some great locations, and you know, they do a good job of making them look good. But you could have done it more quickly, I think.
Okay. Tell me.
Yeah.
Does he go to the US at any stage?
This one?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
And
think
did he in the last one?
No.
And did he in the one before that? See a common theme coming on here?
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
The last one I can remember was Roger Moore ramping the white car off the Southern Sheriff's
Oh, yeah.
ramp.
Yeah. And, the boats.
Yeah.
The jet boats. Yeah. In Florida.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Yeah. This is Sheriff T.
Yeah.
There's that one. Yeah, I was thinking there must have been one set, you know, down in Miami or something like that, you know. But you're right, it was Florida, yeah. It was the crocodiles with jaws.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez, I can't remember the name, which one that was.
Yeah, it's going back a while.
Is that Octopussy? Oh, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So, what would you mark it?
I did really enjoy it. As I said, the problem with the pacing really sorted itself out in the last section of the movie. They got their shit together, and they
Okay.
it was almost like they switched gears. You said, okay, we're gonna do, you know, this is a bit dull, that's a bit dull. Oh, big action scene. Bit dull. Whoa, big action scene. And then it gets to climax time. And not only do they have an amazing, exciting climax with, the music is building to a crescendo and all this kind of thing, but there's a deflection, a number of deflections in terms of how the crescendo is building, which I was a little bit taken surprised by. I thought it'd be a little bit more formulaic, but they did take a few risks. But more importantly, as this is happening, they're bringing in the whole reflection thing with James Bond. He's coming closer and closer to knowing who he is, kind of thing. Which I thought for a Bond movie was that's
deep.
Yeah, very deep. So what's going on here?
You sort of hold the popcorn halfway up to your mouth, open. Go, what's going on here?
Yeah. What?
This is Scream 2, right?
Hang on, he's supposed to shoot and fuck and drive. What's the thinking stuff?
Maybe he's matured late on in life.
Maybe.
Be interesting to see who the next Bond will be, actually, because there's bound to be another one.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's going to be another 20.
Wow.
Damian Lewis.
Damian Lewis?
Could happen.
They'd never have a fucking ginger Bond.
No, I was just going to say he's going to have to get Just for Men out, you know.
Yeah. So I don't want to say too much more because I don't want to be spoiling stuff.
Yeah.
Especially with the spoiler police breathing down my neck.
You're dead right. Yeah.
We are on duty, Michael.
Yeah.
We never sleep.
Yeah. So give us a mark.
I will give this an 8. It's a very enjoyable movie.
Cool.
But it doesn't quite reach the heights of Skyfall. But I do appreciate what they were trying to do with it. And I mean, it's Bond.
It's Bond. It's Bond.
Yeah.
So it's a Bond movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's an 8.
And it's a good Bond movie.
That's okay.
Yeah. It's got a few problems, but fuck's sake. Get life. Go see this fucking movie.
Okay. Well said, Mike. Okay, next up we've got some previews and coming to a bicycle near you. So first up, we have Don Verdeen. I spoke briefly about this last week, and there was no trailer at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But this is about an ambitious small-town pastor who hires a self-proclaimed biblical archaeologist collector dude. And he goes off to collect this stuff to make his small-town pastorship attractive because his numbers are dwindling. His flock are thinning out. And so the archaeologist sort of comes up a bit short. So to, to sort of hide his shortcomings and so on, he gets up to a few tricks. And that's kind of where it goes.
Yep.
So this stars everyone.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's got...
like literally everyone.
Sam Rockwell, Amy Ryan, Jermaine Clement, Danny McBride, Will Forte, Leslie Bibb, so on and so forth.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's loads in it.
Jermaine Clements is really impression. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he's quite good, isn't he? I mean, I just laugh at his face anyway. You know, he's just hilarious. But yeah, I did like his character in it. Yeah, I kind of look forward to seeing this. Yeah. I laughed a few times at the trailer.
I think I laughed throughout the trailer.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't happen often.
Mark, did you see this?
Indeed, I did.
Yeah. Does it look attractive?
I'm not sure which side of the too silly to be funny line this is on.
Yeah. Did you see
Like,
Napoleon
there was a
Dynamite?
couple of scenes that were really funny.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple of spots where I went, now you went too far and that's not funny now.
Right.
But, so, like, I'm not a huge fan of the slapstick genre if it's just slapstick for its own sake. Like, there needs to be, clever dialogue in there too. And I'm not sure if this is going to manage that. But I would watch it on spec just to see, Like, the trailer piqued my interest enough that I wouldn't mind just seeing how they deliver on the premise. Because the premise is potentially very funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see Napoleon Dynamite or Eastbound and Down?
I've watched an episode or two of Eastbound and Down. We reviewed it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, it's kind of dry humor, would you call it? But a little bit of slapstick, but mostly dry humor. And I'm hoping this is going to be like it, and a little bit like what we see in The Shadows.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was a lot of fun too. Yeah. So, second one we watched was Criminal Activities. Do you remember what this was? Yeah.
So this is the boys over their head.
Yeah. So
John Travolta.
John Travolta is a mob boss.
Yeah.
And he gives a bunch of amateurs who owe him a lot of money a job to do, but doesn't tell them that this job is going to put them in bigger trouble than they're in already. And it kind of goes from there. Yeah. It kind of looks like fun.
Yeah.
It kind of looks a bit hangover-y, though, at the same, group of dudes getting too much trouble in over their heads.
Yeah. This is gonna really rely on being well put together.
Yeah.
Like the story is awful simple. So they're going to have the time and bang on, the dialogue bang on for this to work.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably right. Mark?
So this could be a good film.
Potential.
It could be, like it has the only reason, right, from the trailer, it looks like it's polished. Looks like it's well written. There's good dialogue. We might get a few memorable lines out of it. It seems to be cast very well. It just seems a little bit by the numbers. That's the only concern I have.
Right. Yeah.
We've seen this formula a few times before.
Yeah.
Inexperienced guys, in over their heads, mob boss. What would be the odds of there being a shock twist at the end where the guys that aren't supposed to know much about crime figure it out?
Yeah.
They'll wind up pitting the two crime families against each other and get away scot-free.
Hey,
It's just
no spoilers, Mark. No spoilers.
not spoilers if I'm making it up from my brain, but you know what I mean. I just, it's a bit fucking formulaic, like.
Yeah.
We need a mob boss here. Who's believable as a mob boss nowadays? De Niro? No. What about Travolta? Hey, he's getting the right kind of old. I like the way he's aging out there. Bring him in. Let him do a read-through. Travolta doesn't do read-throughs. Can he still dance? No. Then he's fucking reading through.
He's a big name and he's kind of cheap these days.
Yeah, he can fly his own fucking jet. I don't care. Get him here. Anyway, it could be very good. It could be doing a disservice. I'm just worried it's going to be very predictable.
Yeah.
That's my concern.
Yeah. So speaking of predictable, it's the last one. Daddy's Home.
I thought we did this one already.
You know
but,
what?
Yep.
And it's my fault because I forgot, and it's a new trailer.
Right.
Yeah.
This is. I think this looks really funny. I can't wait to see it. I can't believe it's not out yet. It seems like we reviewed it like way back in season 8.
Yeah, it's out in December actually, 25th of December. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, no,
The cinemas
really
are
want
closed.
to see this. But see, this is exactly what I was talking about in that first trailer. This is a bit slapstick, but the writing is there.
Yeah.
It's like some of the jokes, like about the kid drawing her.
What's this about, first of all, let's say? For those who didn't hear our earlier review.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
This film is about a stepdad who's not getting on very well with his kids, though he desperately tries to convince himself that he is. And all of a sudden, their real dad, played by Mark Wahlberg, arrives. And he is, the coolest person ever. Obviously, it's Mark Wahlberg. And he starts to put it up to stepdad Will Ferrell, and they wind up in a game of one-upmanship for their children's love.
Well, these are two guys I just fucking love. I can't wait to see them on the screen.
Yeah, what was the one that did where they're the cops?
The other guys.
The other guys. That was quite funny, and they did bounce off each other.
That's one of my favorite movies in the last 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
So if it's even half the movie the other guys was.
Well, this trailer really made me laugh. Yeah, and this is, it's ridiculous, it's stupid, but it's the right kind of stupid, that kind of way.
Yeah.
Like I hear your fears, Mark, about the Don Verdeen. It might be just stupid, whereas I think this could be hilarious stupid. Yeah.
They have the track record.
Yeah, for sure. Both of them. Yeah, even when unintentionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to this. Won't be watching on 25th December, though, I'll tell you that. No, I got plans. And, I'll probably have to, save the old, the pass for Sherlock.
Oh.
Yeah. So anything else this week? Nada? Grand. We'll leave it there then. Grand. So, tweet us at Is It a Bicycle. Facebook. Give us a like or a conversation. Sure, Jesus, you never know who might reply to you. And email us, of course, at podcast@isitabicycle.com. So from Mike, Mark, Stephen, Sean, stay classy.